Hello, everyone. This is Storm, Commissioner of the SADL. And as you can see on your screen today, we have a watch through of all of the week one matches for the SADL. We'll be watching the other six matches. Of course, my match has have a live reaction or live commentary of it. So we'll be watching the other six matches. It is a 14-man league. So, of course, seven matches a week, minus mine, six. So, unfortunately, I have seen all of these matches already. I watched all the replays when they were being posted. But I will. I'm going back through them just so I can kind of give a breakdown and analysis, as well as show off the other people in our league, our other coaches, our other teams, and also doing a bit of record keeping. So if you hear like a pin click or some scribbling noises, it's me writing down stuff for the matches. So basically, these matches are in order that they were played. So we'll be starting off. This is actually the very first match of our draft league ever played. This is Fiery Vortex, coach of the Dewey Duwats, and Vanny, coach of the Diamond Defenders. So we'll get into it. I'm probably going to stop it a lot just so I can break it down. It is on Showdown, so it's a lot faster than, like, say, a Wi Fi battle. But, anyways, let's get right into it. So, first off, pretty pretty standard lead. You want to lead the Nine Tails to get your Aurora Veil up. And also, it's worth noting on Vanny's team, I think he brought the Darkrai and Sneasel. I think out of all the Pokemon he has on his roster, are the only Pokemon that are faster than Ninetales. So he had to lead one of them if he wanted to have a chance of stopping Ninetales from getting Veil up. So leads the Ninetales, and this is a very bold hypnosis here from Vanny. Hypnosis is not a move you want to bring a lot into something like Draft League because it's very inconsistent. Especially when Darkrai is by far one of your best, if not the best Pokemon on your team. So I feel like it's very risky, and it paid off. It stopped, and stopped the Duats from getting their veil up. So it worked out. Good nasty plot on the switch, and here he brought the Thunder. I was very surprised. Thunder is like you either have Thunder or Focus Blast is the only two moves that can reliably hit Samurott. Now, this was AV Samurott. I do know that. I don't know if it lived that Thunder or not. But anyway, that was a huge play going into Vortex's favor. And Samurott does actually net the first ever kill in SADL history. So, um, that's it's unfortunate play. Now, what happens here next? I'm not a huge fan of this play either, going on to the Deoxys, because of course it is weak to this, and it's also one of the best options you have to Latios. Now, gets the Ceaseless Edge off, lays a spike. I guess Showdown is bugged and it's not showing actual hazards, unfortunately. But very fortunate turns here, getting three paralysis and managed to get all three layers of spikes up. It's actually pretty big, but I think what he should have done at this point instead of attacking was to switch out Deoxys to preserve it for later. And maybe even have just healed himself during one of those paralysis turns. Goes on to Como, though, after Samurai gets the kill. Quick switch to Latios and activates his Key Berry, and starts setting up. He sets up, so I don't know. This is also another bit of a misplay here because he wants to set up in front of this Latios. This Latios can just straight up kill him. Like both of them setting up is very weird in the situation. I guess there's a possibility that maybe a +1 Latios can live an unboosted attack from Como, but definitely Vanny setting up in this situation is a very weird play because I feel as if it's just not it never benefits you. And as you're about to see right here, stored power picks off the kill. And basically, it's all down here. This is also some bad team building on Vandy's part because his Sneasel was not faster than Latios, and it should always be faster than Latios. Anyway, stored power just cleans up right here. 4 kills for the Latios. Uh, So yeah, ends with a pretty good sweep. Really and truly, that was just a little bit of both misplay and team building issues from Vanny, and some smart team design on the hand of Fiery Vortex because of course his team that the key berry Calm Mind Latios really went crazy into this team, especially since he lets Deoxys defense die. I mean, if Annie keeps his Deoxys defense around, this match is obviously does not go this way. And I really don't know about switching the Deoxys defense into the Samurott in the first place. You're just letting it get free spikes and kill your Pokemon at the same time. So then that's kind of the issue or the dilemma, I guess, with Hisui and Samurott in a lot of cases is it's going to get spikes up regardless because nothing can stop it from getting those spikes up unless it misses. So you either have to say, I go into something that resists it and I either hits me and doesn't do a lot of damage and it gets spikes up and maybe I force it to have to try and kill me on the next turn with a move that isn't Ceaseless Edge, or and you don't, and going into Deoxys Speed doesn't give you that that option really. And he got very fortunate that the Samurott got paralyzed, full para 3 times. But anyways, yeah, 6-0. Very first match was a 6-0. It was a quick match as well. So we'll be moving on to the next match, which would be Board Addict of the Minnesota Glow Kings versus Tanner of the Chicago Toros. So we'll start this real quick right here. Big lead. Starts off big with the Iron Thorns into the Amoonguss. This Amoonguss, of course, uses U-turn, reveals that it's not the Zoroark. And honestly, I don't hate that play. You could say he should have tried to get damage off, but he definitely wants to preserve his Zoroark in some manner. And maybe he was even expecting a switch, knowing the potential of Spore coming out. But anyways, that's just kind of a whatever play. Gets his rocks up, and then goes to switch out, of course, and then goes into his Assault Vest Serena. I'm pretty sure 100% sure this thing was Assault Vest. Normal exchange here is the Power Whip. No boots on the Dragonite. It's very interesting. Um, Dragon Claw, and then this is really truly a big play here. This Terraflying Ice Punch, because that at my point, this is sort of the tipping point in this match. You can we'll watch a little bit more. You can see this Rotom, of course, can only Volt Switch on the Serena, chipping the Serena down, which is very good, and then goes into his own Amoonguss, but it's not the Amoonguss. It's still disguised. But unfortunately, the AV does let the Serena live. Probably, I think that should have been a calc on Tanner's end because you don't want to risk losing your Zoroark like that. I'm pretty sure it was Scarf. It actually might have been Specs, judging by that damage. I'd have to actually calc it. But you should always run your calc in that situation because you should keep your Zoroark around. You don't want to lose Pokemon like that, especially in Draft League where everything you should be building or bringing to matches needs to be teched in some way. So I think that was just a really I don't want to say a lazy, but it was just it's not a play that you should really ever make in in Draft League. Truthfully, I think it's something that you should always be calculating that sort of thing. You should always be ensuring that you can you can live that and making intelligent plays off of that. Sorry, I'm trolling off a little bit. I am writing some stuff down to make sure I'm keeping my records. So, yeah, at the end of the day, that's just not something you really want to ever do is leave something like that up to chance. You're not on the ladder. If you're not on the ladder, you're not doing stuff like that. So fake out into with the Sneasler, the Dire Claw, and this is another option, another kind of just guessing and eyeballing it, I guess. So back-to-back plays where Tanner just sort of says, well, I'll try to get as much damage off as possible or what, because he has a Rotom in the back. He has this Rotom wash he can go into, and it'll mostly be fine. The worst that this Tornadus can do to it is knockoff, and there's no reason to give up your Sneasel because at this point you're trying to claw your way back into this game, and you need as much many powerful, potent hitters as you can. You're already down in a bad spot. And it's not like, Board Addict has a lot up on him. He really doesn't because his Serena's almost dead. And He has a decent amount of chip on his Iron Thorn. It's not a lot, but a decent amount. Obviously, there's still a lot of HP going around on Board Addict's team, but you need to make the right plays. Tornadus lives on 1 HP. This Bishar forces it out, of course, and he goes into the Gliscor. Sorry, I don't know why I said Gliscar. Smart SD, but does terrestrialize. I think he should have kept his typing at least for one turn because yes, now he's been able to be toxic. Misreads also these plays right here. This is like I said, you have to claw your way back in. I really think at this point the match is pretty much in Board Addict's favor. But like I said, you have to look for your options to claw your way back into the match and getting these protect turns wrong, or trying to get them right helps you because he swords dance on a turn where he takes earthquake damage, and I think he does correctly predict this one with the swords dance and gets a decent amount of damage off here. He sucker punches, which was great. Bisharp is still alive, basically, and then dies to toxic. So unfortunately, there. And at this point, the match is pretty much just downhill. There's not much of a chance. The Pokemon remaining are too passive on the end of Tanner's end, unfortunately. So basically, just probably trying to play for differential a little bit, get a kill on something, make the match a little more. Play for that differential come the end of the season for playoffs. So tries to spore. I don't know if that was just a frustration play or whatever. Tries to spore a poison Pokemon, doesn't work out, and then gets big damage off on this Mian Chow. Um, but Hexes. He should have definitely Giga Drain there. Like I said, he should be playing. You should definitely be playing for differential in a time like this, so that way you are, you're in a better spot come the end of the season because, if I think if Tanner plays this right, it's only a 3-0 instead of a 5-0, and that could be big towards the end of the season with playoffs around the corner. So moving on to our third match, we have St. Wumples of the Anchorage Bearticks versus Manny of the New York Munchlax. I'm not gonna lie, I did mocks for Wumples, and I knew Manny was gonna struggle. Manny, in my opinion, is one of the strongest drafts in the entire league, and I knew he was gonna struggle just because of how well Urshifu works into his team. Starts off smart switch by Manny. He could have used that chance to get Toxic Spikes up, but goes straight to his Latias, which is physically defensive. Um, Good recover on the switch. That's a smart play by him. Uh, Switches into the Quaquaval to eat that hit. So I don't know. I'm trying to remember the sets. I have the sets, their sets and teams down somewhere. Um, I don't know how offensive this particular Hoopa was. I find it surprising it really did that much to Quaquaval. I know this Quaquaval doesn't have any bulk invested, but I don't like the Quaquaval set either because as we're about to find out, it is what you want to call it. It's a life orb, and I really do not like the life orb really on this Quaquaval. I think Scarf Quaquaval does phenomenal into Wumple's team. But anyways, moving forward, Petront comes in. It's obviously a great switch. Gets a lucky crit right here, which is nice. And basically is going to have to force his Petront to recover. And he takes advantage of that very smart Swords Dance on Manny's part right here. But as you can see, it just doesn't do enough. And Petront is able to pick up the kill. But keeping it weak is nice. Petront can be a very annoying Pokemon, obviously. So you want to keep it as weak as possible. Obviously, there's not really much you could do besides running a stronger move than Aqua Step, like maybe Wave Crash, but I don't blame him. You're already taking recoil from your your life orb, so you definitely don't want to run the Wave Crash. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Wave Crash, or the life orb, should I say? Sorry, I keep saying mixing up my words. I'm not a huge fan of that. Uh, anyways, so just doing some record keeping. Go down to Latias, smart move. Goes into the Diancie here, hits him with the alluring voice, trying to predict the Hoopa. Goes out to the Glamora. This is a pretty smart move because basically it preserving the sash on the Glamora. I like this set right here. Belly drum, the belly drum in the trick room gets up the toxic spikes or gets up. Yeah. Oh wait. Ooh. Okay. I didn't notice that actually first time I played this. The Glamora has toxic spikes. Not a fan of this. I don't remember this being in the team builder. I'm not a fan of having the toxic spikes on the Glamora. You should definitely be some sort of coverage. Actually, 100%. Actually, looking at this now, I don't know. Like I said, I don't exactly remember what the Glamora set is. This should be Earth Power, probably. And if not, just hit him with like a really strong stab. I don't like the toxic spikes there because you need to get this thing off of the field. But anyways, he mementos on this turn, which once again not a fan. Not a fan of this build really. uh this set I kind of didn't notice the first time I watched this that it scattered toxic spikes. The stealth rock toxic spikes memento definitely should use Glamour's offensive had a more offensive build or more offensive moves, should I say. Knocked off the weakness policy, that sucks. Trick room ends though, and smart move here going into the Petulant on sacking the Petulant so you can get in something safely, but also using it as a chance to absorb those toxic spikes. There's a very heads up play there by Wumples for sure. Um, Definitely a way to position yourself, and that's kind of you realize what has extended its or expended, should I say, its usefulness, and then you uh, positioning is huge always. So obviously fearing the Tinglu, getting his weakness policy moves. Basically goes into the Metagross as a sack. I believe that the Latias does have full health, but he was fearing the potential U-turn, which he doesn't eat well. So basically, Metagross doesn't do anything here. And we get the first kill from Urshifu. So, yeah. And basically now you put in a position. I will say Jolteon can be very potentially threatening into this team. Little Volt Switch. It is Choice Scarf. And if personally, if I was bringing Jolteon, I would not bring Scarf. I know he brought Scarf because he feared the Iron Bundle, which is fair. But yeah, definitely having that is kind of it's Jolteon's already fast. Try to maximize offensive potential. But anyways, Latias revealing it has Energy Ball. I'm pretty sure that was also for Iron Bundle. Gets its Trick Room back up. Goes with a Diamond Storm. Body press does not do much, especially without a defense raise. Gets spikes up. This is huge because there's no hazard removal on the side of St. Lumpos. And a nice little rest. Cheapest Tinglu in the game. Diamond Storm's not getting any defense raises, and a great Sleep Talk Earthquake. I think this Tinglu is also huge. Really only fearing. I'm surprised we didn't see the Urshifu come back out, and I think that he tries to overpredict here with the Hyperspace Fury, giving this Tinglu more longevity and a chance to get up more spikes. Like I said, no hazard removal on the side of the Beartic, so as much as possible. Great read, gets the Earthquake off, and then here makes a good play, resting on the Tinglu. Now, I will say, hindsight is 2020, obviously. So the further into the match we go, the better we know. Um, I'm not sure if Manny at this point is aware that this Hoopa is what you call it. This Hoopa is assault vest because I applaud him keeping the Tinglu around because it's pretty good into not necessarily the best, but it's solid into the team, and having something that tanky around it can do a lot of damage is really nice. But he should have got rid of. I think he should have got rid of the super right here instead of resting. But especially because you have to play around getting the rolls right with sleep talk. If not, so anyways, chooses not to sleep talk that turn. Sacrifices the Tinglu has 3 kills already. By the way, this Tinglu is like kind of in the running for MVP. where he has 3 kills, picking up the hazard kills on the Greedent. And like I said, these spikes, having 3 layer spikes up, this was a very winnable match from this point by Manny. Uh, this is a difficult position because basically the U-turn could come out and is very free. Alluring voice to try to chip down this Hoopa U doesn't work. Hoopa U claims a kill. And Thunderbolt, basically there was nothing left. Drain Punch heals too much. Goes into the Ting-Lu. Don't necessarily hate this play because Ting-Lu is really one of your better options for dealing with this. And he does actually get pretty big right here with, I think he gets Sleeps Talks into 2 Earthquakes. Ting-Lu's going nuts. Gets 4 kills. And gets 4 kills. I thought about putting it as we run a poll each week for the Pokemon of the week, and I thought about putting the Ting-Lu just because of how good it was in this match. But I decided to keep it out just because I wanted to give that option to the winning teams. But definitely, like if I had an 8th option or was doing either teams, basically, and this Jolteon can't win right here. This is a very bulky Ogre Pond. Doesn't stand a chance. Picks up a kill. So, anyways, a quick little 2-0. One of the better battles we had this week, that's for sure. Trying to keep track of all of the kills. Just doing some record keeping. Like I said, Tingley got all of the kills. Definitely one of the better battles, and I definitely think that trying to get that, because you have to understand one thing too. Also, this thing cannot touch or cannot beat Latias. Latias easily deals with this. You have Latias and Jolteon. So you have Latias, Jolteon, Ting Lu left. I'm trying to explain it this way. These two never touch this Hoopa Unbound. This Hoopa Unbound, it's going to basically uh, just be able to take them out. There's nothing you can do against it. You have the hazards up too to weaken, make limiter Shifu, so you really don't need to be doing a bunch of damage to it. Limit both Urshifu and any switching he wants to do around. He 100% should have killed, and as we saw, Greedent dies to hazards. He 100% should have killed the Hoopa U with that Earthquake instead of resting again. Even though, yes, Ting-Lu is very valuable and it went crazy in this match, he needed to kill that Hoopa U at that very moment because nothing else on Manny's team is going to kill the Hoopa U. So he 100% should have just let that thing die. And obviously, like I said, that's kind of a hindsight's 2020 thing, just looking at it now. But I feel like he should have realized at that point that Hoopa U he might not have realized it was Assault Vest. And if he didn't, then bummer. And if he did, then he should have tried to kill it in the best way. Or he should have just killed it right then and there, should I say. So, anyways, trying to look back at these kills. I think Ogerpon got 2. Greedent got 1. And then did Urshifu get 2? Who all did Urshifu kill? Who killed Latias, actually? But anyways, I think the MVP of this match was the... Let's see. Hornleech. Jolteon kills it. Was definitely the Hoop Unbound. It stayed alive forever. Withstand basically everything it could. Okay, Hoop Unbound kills the... So I gotta write that here as well. Hoopa Unbound kills the Latias. There's 1. Also 1. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so moving forward to our 4th game. Here we have Bernie33. So that's Bernie. Actually, wait, his name was, I thought, Rockrucker. Okay, well, anyways, I know who it is. It's Bernie. Of the Safari Rhyhorns versus Jake of the Washington Wishmakers. So this was, in my opinion, was highlighted to be one of the better matches of this week, based off of how I feel everybody's team is. Probably the closest rankings we have. Maybe some of the other ones are a little closer, actually. Um, but anyways, it's supposed to be a really good match. We'll see how it plays out here when we play it. Leads the Hydreigon. Cinderace, obviously, it's just a free lead. Uh, U-turn into the Talonflame. Smart play going out to the Talonflame because you could always try to get a burn off on it. Didn't work out that way. Uh, Pivot and Slowking Galar reveals that it has Power Gem, so the tech has been revealed. I guess he was really fearing that Talonflame. Good pivot with the Chilly Reception into the Hydreigon so you can threaten this thing out. And the Dark Pulse. Think this thing might have been Scarf. Was definitely not Specs because that did not do a lot. Very bulky on the Moltres. Goes into the Talonflame, I guess fearing it's like something like Flamethrower. Obviously, Talonflame is faster. Not Flamethrower, like a Will-O-Wisp. Rillaboom gets in here. The switch gets the knockoff, getting rid of boots. That's definitely not good for Talonflame. And once again, no burn. I guess trying to read the Will-O-Wisp here with the Smolder switch in. U-turn, pivot, Slowking, of course. Always, Moltres always going to have that 1v1 is always going to have the momentum because it is slower. Always will be slower. Chilly Reception on the nasty plot. Goes into Cobalion here. I'm not sure how well this thing eats. Oh, just full switches out. Gets the balloon pop, which is good, and basically just decides here to sack the Slowking. I I know he was trying to eat the Shadow Ball. He had Ikasi Berry, as you can see there, but I don't know this thing's move. The only thing it clicks in this match is obviously Chilly Reception. I don't remember what it was packing. If it didn't have a way to hit Golden Go, then he really shouldn't have been trying to rely on it with that Kasib Berry. In my opinion, obviously he could have been fearing a potential make it rain read, but I think you have to be aggressive as possible, and your play there has to be Hydreigon because this thing is very dangerous. It does well into most of your team. I think that Bernie's play should have been Hydreigon there. Obviously, it's a 50-50 sort of, and he can always make that play, but it's better than going out into Slowking and then basically dying to Shadow Ball spam because even with the Berry, like I said, I don't know if it had a fire move to hit this Golden Go with. So now he goes out to the Hydreigon. And of course, once again, no damage here. Uh, I think the biggest thing you're going to see watching this match, Bernie was not aggressive enough. I'd have to look at what his roster is to see if he could have brought better Mons. Um, Jake was obviously very well prepped, but I really think Bernie should have been a little more aggressive with his plays and trying to force things in to break Jake's team. This is a classic Great Tusk Golden Go standoff. Makes a read. Good double here. This is an excellent double. And these are the aggressive plays I was talking about. These aggressive plays that Bernie needed to make to win this game. Ivy Cudgel shows that this Golden goes a pretty tanky. He decides to knock off here, and not that it really matters. As you can see, their damage is pretty similar. I think Ivy Cudgel there. He does make it rain. I'm not quite sure what the. I guess maybe he was predicting a switch to the Hydreigon. Both these players are actually playing uh, not really aggressive, but they're making smart plays. Like it's not like a bunch of really just goofy plays that don't end in anything. The other thing I think that make it rain was to try to read the Hydreigon. Uh, the knockoff there probably should have Ivy Cudgel. The only reason why I say he should have Ivy Cudgel is because I think it does more damage, right? Because knockoff is 130. I think this was a low roll on Ivy Cudgel, and this was either a high or a mid roll on the knockoff. But anyways, Ivy Cudgel's never to play because you can always crit, has a higher chance of critting. Forces in the Rillaboom. He Ivy Cudgels again, and this could have been maybe trying to read the Moltres, but I feel like knowing that, and this is kind of a hindsight thing, knowing how potentially threatening this Rillaboom was, or how much how well it does. This thing is Assault Vest, how well it does into your team. I think U-turn was the play there. But of course, I think he was the one who confirmed the kill on the Golden Go. Of course, goes into Talonflame. No burn. No burn. I think it's the third time this Talonflame has failed to get a burn. Of course, he knows that this is packing. Great alluring voice. This is a great read. Terrestrialized to the fairy tide, gets the alluring voice off. He was definitely reading that power gem to come out. And uh, this was talked about later. This Cobalion was Custapberry Flash Cannon, mainly for the Iron Valiant. But unfortunately, the Espeon or the grassy terrain healed him out of Custap range, and Bernie did not realize it. And so we find this thing out. The find out this Hydreigon is not Scarf, or actually it might have been Scarf. I can't remember sets. Some sets I remember, some of the sets I don't remember. Either way, Bernie kind of tilts here and throws away his Hydreigon as well, instead of going out into the Talonflame. And then once again, we have this 1v1 that we have seen a decent amount. Reveals the flamethrower to try and get some chip, but basically nothing's going to come of this. They're just kind of standing at each other. Gets into the Great Tusk. This allows him the Espeon. Goes into the Talonflame. Luring Voice doesn't do enough. Once again, the Moltres. This is a great U-turn as well because it allows you to get in Ogerpon, which is very threatening. Rillaboom comes in. And like I said, I understand the hesitancy of not wanting to play, but you are down 6-3. Need to be aggressive. Talonflame comes out. Once again, as we're about to see, no burn. This Talonflame was very unlucky in the fact that I got no burns. And I'm not gonna lie, that does make burning pretty unlucky. Not to say none of those burns, you can see I say in the chat. I don't know how many of those burns would have mattered in the end because the Talonflame wasn't the one doing work. Tries to power gym here, gets the Great Tuscan for free. Of course, is a Moltres. Gets a rapid spin-off. If he had a way of dealing with the Moltres, that would be fine. But other than that, it's just some chip. Gets up rocks, which is not bad, especially because he doesn't read it, and by going the Espeon, so getting the rocks up is great. But then an immediately good play going Cinderace to throw the rocks back on because it limits the Talonflame switch in. I actually just noticed that Jake does not have hazard setters, so good Will-O-Wisp there. Actually, this is actually a great play by Bernie too. Great Will-O-Wisp reading the court change though. U-turns out, tries to get more momentum, gets back in his Ogerpon, and it is basically just trying to chip down this Rillaboom because it is the thing that is stopping Ogerpon from being able to do anything. Brings in the Talonflame. Of course, it lost its boots a long time ago, but it eats up the Grassy Glide. No burns yet again. The only time the Talonflame has gotten a burn. Roost here, get a little bit of heal. The only time it's gotten a burn is with Will-O-Wisp on the court change. Anyways, nice flamethrower, but Jake plays the game, and they just trade flamethrowers, basically. He's not wanting to switch out. Either trying to burn some Roost, and as you can see, Moltres' flamethrowers are a lot stronger than Talonflames. Flames again. Finally, U-turns out. Gets in the Ogerpon on the flamethrower. That's unfortunate. I think this is the play where Bernie finally U-turns, but it's a little bit too late. Like I said, the aggression was definitely needed early, but the Rillaboom falls, and this Espeon actually went crazy here. It gets 5 kills. It's actually currently the Sadl kill leader. So it kind of goes crazy there at the end, basically. And this match was better than the outcome of 5-0. Like I said, Bernie is a great player. He has a great team, and he appears to be a great player. But I think he should have been more aggressive. I mean, Jake has a really good team. He brought a really good team. He has a really good roster. And I felt like I said, he needed to be more aggressive. He needed to put, force Jake into more difficult positions because he needed to figure out a way to wear down his team. And he didn't. Like I said, it took him forever to finally make that U-turn play. Make the U-turn play on the Rillaboom. He couldn't figure out a way to break Moltres. I think that and like I said, he misplayed and got tilted with the Espeon in the mid game, letting it kill both Cobalion and Hydreigon. It's unfortunate, but we'll move on to our next game here. This is going to be uh, one of our commissioners here, Jablinksy. That is actually it's Titan HD. He's one of our co-commissioners. And over here we have Yeehaw Ha Yi. So this is the House of Mouse versus the Turn Trevenants. So we'll get started off here. Deoxys speed lead, not a bad idea, but reveals the scarf roaring moon, and does not. So this is a bit of a pretty big misplay, really and truthfully, because I don't know what the read was. Because the most likely move for this thing to go is going to be superpower into a roaring moon. I don't know if this is just bad prep by Titan, but superpower is a likely move. Don't go out into a normal type. That's not what you want to see. So this course gives a big amount of chip. Goes back into the Landorus. Gets a psychic. Now he's off. I think he was trying, I guess, maybe to stop Regenerator or something. Gets a knockoff. He knocks off Landorus. This is the Octa Speed at this point was going crazy. It has almost completely killed. Obviously, like I said, Cyclozar has Regenerator, but it's almost completely killed Cyclozar. It has weakened Landorus and got rid of its leftovers, and then Psycho Boost to actually kill the Landorus. So yeah, that's not good at all. Flip turn out as the Cryogonal comes in, goes out to tries to bait the freeze dry or an ice type move, I guess. But this is a free spin for the Cryogonal, and once there's no way to get rocks back up because I don't think this thing has rocks. Gets a roar. Um, knock off here. Flip turn to get momentum. That's not a bad play. You want to keep up your momentum as much as possible. And here we see some crazy tech right here. Bounce power. I actually don't know the reason for this. I think this might have been. I don't know if this was for Trevenant or not, but this is a crazy bounce power play here because it stops the substitution from the Trevenant. Um, However, though, I think the issue with going Trevenant in this situation, I mean, obviously, I think the bounce was a very risky play because it's less accurate. Knockoff does more. Um, Obviously, this Trevenant proves that it is faster than the Azumarill, but I really don't know how I feel about the Trevenant play because this thing has already revealed that it had knockoff, and uh, unless you know that you can kill it, you're running your calcs, then you know uh, you're essentially throwing away either your Trevenant's item. Essentially, even if your Trevenant does not die, you're throwing away your Trevenant's item. So either way in this situation. So power bounce comes out. Actually, good that it got expended with the substitute. We see a horn leech because once again it's faster. But then the knockoff happens. It does huge damage, and Trevenant loses its citrus berry, so it can't do harvest. It can't do the harvest tech that it wanted to do. Once again, the Deoxys speed comes out and kills something. Uh, this thing has been around for way too long. Finally, goes to the Royal Moon, try to revenge kill it. Goes for the knockoff. That's not a bad play at all. Trying to get something switching in. Goes into the Empoleon, and this Bastion feels that it is Terra Fight Body Press, and basically it's not good here. I think he Dragon Tails in this play. I think that's the play that Titan tried to make, and really and truly, that's I don't know if he knew that it had negative priority or not, but either way, it basically just goes crazy because he should have tried to get damage off with it. I'm not sure the exact set of this Cyclozar, but he definitely should have tried to get damage off on it instead of trying to phase it out. Like I said, I'm not sure if he was 100% aware that Dragon Tail had negative priority. Very much seems that there was an idea behind this team with a lot of pivoting and shuffling happening, but obviously that kind of broke down when uh, there became no rocks on the field because it got cleared. So, anyways, this is another kill for the Bastiodon. I think it has two kills now. Um, Unfortunately, Outrage does not kill. And Bastiodon gets another kill. Smart switch here. So, obviously, this is probably partially from frustration. You don't like to see the fact that that Bastiodon had killed so many, or yeah, had killed so many Pokemon. So you want to get rid of it, and so you try to body press it because it's the only thing that can kill it. And of course, the easy read to make there is to go Chandelure. Um, Basically, crunch. Yeah, because if you would have crunched twice, it would have been enough to kill it. Uh, Overheat does a bunch of damage, and the Iron Defense here was strange, but at this point, I don't think it really matters. The Iron Defense is again, I don't think he has a way of hitting it, anyways. So basically, that's GG. Um, and yeah, I really, it's really weird to analyze this game partially because I don't think it was a team building issue 100% on Titan's part, but I feel like his team was extremely weak to this Bastiodon. Probably should have had brought Gengar or kept. Well, obviously, I think he pretty carefully waited for the Trevenant to die before he brought it out. But yeah, I definitely think misplaying around the Deoxys speed early was terrible for him. That Deoxys speed should have died way earlier. Basically, just split the game open and made it so much easier for Bastiodon to go crazy. Losing the rocks early to Cryogonal as well after letting the Landorus die wasn't good either. Um, so yeah, just early misplays, and then I also not trying to kill the Bastion because you got to think about it. There's another way to think about it too. Uh, Roaring Moon was in a good spot to clean up when he went for Dragon Tail on Cyclizar. If he would have went for another move, whatever chip he would have got out of that Bastiodon would have made it a lot easier for Roaring Moon to clean up. I think Roaring Moon had a chance. Roaring Moon plus Zamazinta, that's a very good combo. That has a great chance of cleaning up the rest of the team because this team is not exceptionally strong. Obviously, we already know that Scarf, so it's faster than the Deoxys speed. So as long as you keep that around, you always beat Deoxys speed. Chandelure is not very bulky. Noivern folds to Outrage, and then obviously Cryogonal uh, is not going to be handling Zamazenta very well. So this, I think there were some big misplays in the early to mid game, and Bastiodon just kind of goes crazy and takes advantage of the situation with having a team that was so broken down and weak to it. Anyways, let's get into our last match so we can wrap this recording up. I've been talking for far too long. So, anyways, we have our final match. This is the Wiltshire War Turtles coached by Phil, and the Cerulean Guardians, coached by Bean. So let's get into it. So pretty early here, pretty simple Meowscarada lead. Gets the U-turn off, gets decent damage off, reveals that it is Life Orb. Um, Nothing too crazy there. Gets a nice pivot out into this Curum, which by far probably the only good switch in into Curum. I will say Phil's team is pretty Venusaur weak, uh, potentially. So, anyways, good switch by him to take advantage of the bringing the Curum. Sets up manual Sun here for the Charizard and makes an immediate switch to the Charizard. But Freeze Dry does a lot, plus Solar Power, and then the Curum reveals that it is Scarfed. This is very unfortunate for, and this is also a bit of a misplay. Um, I think Bean is newer to competitive Pokemon, but if this Curum is faster than your Charizard, it is 100% faster than your Walking Wake. So, and he kind of hints at that here. Look, I have no clue what I'm doing. So basically, just throws away two Mons right off the bat to this Curum. Obviously, smart switch, knowing that he's lacking the Freeze Dry, goes into the Iron Moth. Not unfortunate. I really would have loved to have seen this Iron Moth get a special attack boost to keep it in the game, but unfortunately, it doesn't. It does get an Energy Ball special defense drop, though, and that Skull does a lot of damage. I tell you what, like I said, this is something I've been saying throughout all these matches. You have to play aggressive when you're down. There's probably not a chance in hell that Slow King stays in. I would have Fiery Dance there. I think Fiery Dance would have been a wonderful play. Cook this Meowscarada and gone a little bit further into helping Bean cook this team down. But Meowscarada revenge kills because it is faster. Regieleki comes out, reveals that it is charge. And it won't do much though because it can't hit Ursaluna. Then we see the Mew come out, and the Mew tries to do as much damage as possible, but this Ursaluna, there's just team was way too broken down at this point. Goes for the synthesis. I don't know how I feel about that play because I 100% should have felt. Yeah, I think the energy ball should have came out sooner because I would have cleaned it up. I get wanting to keep the Venusaur healthy, but just not worth it. And basically, Ursa Luna can clean up because Regieleki can't touch it. So I think some aggressive plays there could have salvaged that game actually from for Bean, but he didn't realize that the Curum was basically capable of killing his entire team. And we have another 6-0. So we have a 6-0 to begin the week and a 6-0 to end the week. So, anyways, that basically wraps up my analysis video. Is probably a little longer than I want it to be. I had to stop and do some things with some note keeping. Or should I say record keeping, should I say. But I try to get through it and provide as much helpful information as a breakdown as I can, show off my coaches in my league. And coaches, if you are watching this, please let me know if y'all want to see more stuff either in the comments or let me know in the server. Um, I was thinking about breaking down my roster power rankings and my draft grades that I put out. If y'all want to see that, let me know. I'll make a video basically explaining them because I know I just basically put out the list, but I can make a video actually breaking down why I gave y'all those rankings and draft grades. So, anyways, that being said, I will probably either see y'all later this week with a video, like I said, breaking that down, or wait till Sunday or Monday for my week 2 live reaction. But with that being said, I am signing off. See y'all later.